spinning up, but it'll tell me when we go. All
Okay.
right, we are live right now. So coming from Japan, we have Charlie Ward
Good
from
morning.
X. Is it EX First Games or X First Games? I always forget what to say.
I switch between one and the other. It's not great. EX First Games.
Got it. Now,
That's the legal definition.
perfect. We will be talking about, and I've got two different versions up now. The StreamYard now does a vertical as well.
Oh, cool.
So I'll hold it this way. Some people on the phone will be able to see it a little bit better, but we'll be talking about We&We, which is, tell me if I'm wrong, it's like a life RPG.
Right, yeah, real life role-playing game. Well, I'd say real life game in which you play a character, yourself, or the person you want to be, trying to be better.
I'll let you talk about where you're coming from, but I love the A1 sheet that you have in the center that
Right.
you can pop out to print to make your own little monthly books. We'll talk about that as well. But before I get too much, why don't you place us in time and space? I know you're in Japan, but let us know kind of where you're at, what you're doing, and then we'll jump in deeper.
I'm on my second pot of coffee this early morning. It's like 9 o'clock here in Matsumoto, Japan. I've been here for like more than 10 years. I keep saying that, but probably now more than 20 years.
Wow.
Quite happy here. So we're in the middle of the country in Nagano Prefecture, and there's no sea here, but there's plenty of snow. So the wife and kids have gone skiing today. That gives me the house to myself. They ski, I swim or run, and that's my thing. Yeah, I'm here making games as an independent, sort of like a half hobby, half trying to shift it into like a job. But yeah, maybe at least 10 years making games, trying to create something that speaks to me, and usually that's a different project every time. So I'm not really chasing an audience per se. I'm just following like what my heart asks me to make.
Beautiful.
Whether it's a curse or a blessing, I don't know.
No, that's definitely a blessing. When I see comments come in, sometimes I'll try not to do it where it's distracting, but I may come in, like we have Viper Dave here that says, "Hey, all."
This is a great setup you got here. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, StreamYard makes it easy. So Viper Dave, cheers. Beautiful.
Good morning.
Beautiful to have you on. And I should have switched. You'll see I have my Scotch Test Dummies logo, which usually I move that. Yeah, that's my whiskey show, but I forgot to change that over. We'll just leave it in. I've got one for the show. But
I can put a bit of whiskey in this. It's okay.
Love it. So let's talk. We will come back to kind of your multi-dice spinners, which is the first time I met you was when I backed one of your Kickstarters. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But this beautiful little zine of We&We is getting ready to come out on Kickstarter.
That's right.
I can't wait to talk to you about it. Why don't you introduce it to everybody and kind of let them know what it is?
Well, first of all, I'm so glad you got your copy, and thanks for backing the very early coin sides. And ever since then, we've had a good relationship. And I sent you Any as well, my first zine.
Yes.
This is the second zine in a line of like small booklets that I'm experimenting with different ideas. So it's launching in February, which is it's a good time because Kickstarter has these events every year. And one of them is Zine Quest. Zines are basically small magazines, sort of like usually black and white, maybe A5, fewer pages, where people can make more experimental games and try different stuff, usually in the role-playing game TTRPG space. But this one is sort of like borderline a game and also a wellness or self-help type tool, maybe a gamification of life. And basically, in We&We, you play as the person you want to be. So you set yourself up for improving. You do a little bit of self-reflection. You try and find what's easy for you, what's difficult for you, and you try and boost those superpowers, which Bart's showing there on the screen. there is actually some kind of like character sheet in there, which is these middle 2 pages that you pull out, and it forms a little booklet that it's sort of a little easy to carry around, and you sort of like track or keep note or like see how you are doing. But it's yeah, I've been meaning to make something like this for years. So I've been stewing on ideas on how to present like a toolkit for my son. He's just turned 12.
Beautiful.
For him to have like a good spiritual sort of knowledge of himself, and be able to deal with the emotions that are going to be coming in like waves, especially now as he's like entering into the teenage years. So ideally, it was like a book of advice of some sort for him. And yeah, I think I'm actually like a year or two too late.
Really?
9 years old, they're like peak absorbing, and you can sort of start to introduce difficult concepts, sort of like the emotional landscape, and sort of trying to explain like, yeah, this is how people react because so and so, and this is like what you might be thinking, and you know we're all humans. We all have a chemistry going on in our brains that sort of dictate how we feel and stuff. So my goal was just sort of to help him prepare for that. But he's like already surpassed that 9-year-old stage, and he's like off on his own like a rocket. And if I can catch up with him, that'll be good. But hopefully, what I've made will help other people. Him, it's definitely been really quite useful for me to sort of, refocus and try and cut out some of those habits which are not helpful.
Mhm.
We all have them. It's easy to ignore. It's easy to fall back into like not favorable ways, but it's all right. You just,
Yeah,
uh,
one of
this is
your
something that
examples on like goals was to not spend too much time in reels, I think was what. And
helps.
because you're right, you can get sucked into the doom cycle
Yeah.
where you're just doom scrolling, and then every once in a while I'll literally have to be like, shut the phone down, shut the phone, and I'll have to like, you know, because I'm thinking, where did that hour go?
Where did that 1 hour, 2 hours go? I guess for some reason, sometimes in the day we just need that like zoning out
Right.
space. It used to be TV, maybe. Before that, it would have been magazines, and that's really what scrolling reels feels like. It just feels like a magazine, but it's an endless magazine. Magazines had so many pages, and when you're done, you're done.
Right.
You could revisit them a lot easier. They had an analog feel, and you could keep them, sell them. They had a physicality to it. But yeah, reels, they're endless. And I don't know how well edited the quality is, or like what political agenda is being pushed through them. So
Yes.
it's a little bit different to like a magazine,
Yes.
but it's the same kind of feeling, right? Where you just want to chill out and zone out and do something. So I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing, but
Hmm.
I don't want to be, yeah. When I
Everything in
was
moderation.
Right. When
Right.
I was really little, we used to with the family. I have two sisters. We used to sit and watch TV, and I'd be thinking like after an hour of this, I'm like, why am I so angry
Mm.
with the experience I've just had? I've just been conned into spending an hour doing nothing, and I don't feel like I've achieved anything, or I don't
Mhm.
feel any better about it. So I used to rage quit TV as like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. Like, um, I don't know if 6-year-olds rage quit TV, but I did.
Sure.
And that
Yeah.
that's sort of, I don't know, that's, I guess, I want to be creative. I want to be making stuff. I
Hmm.
want to finish the day having, done something or met someone or had a good time. But yeah,
Perfect. Which is
TV
well.
is not for me.
So I love in we part of your so you'll have like goals and you'll have enemies and that you'll keep score. I love the fact. So maybe my let's just go with the reels. Maybe I decide to list. I realize I get sucked into reels, so I list it as an enemy. And maybe
Okay.
for me to win, this is just me. I don't think of reels as the enemy, but maybe
Yeah.
I realized I need to put myself on a 20-minute timer. And if that timer goes off and I click away and go do something productive, what you have in there is I would score that as a 1-0 against that enemy of the time sink of the reels.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's the individual that's supposed to, or I don't know about supposed to, but spends a little bit of time of thinking, what are my enemies? I mean, it could be the boss at work is rude, and maybe the way I win, you even have great suggestions, is when I get there, I bring him his favorite coffee or her favorite coffee, and I give a little compliment. And maybe
Excellent.
that's one of my little challenges, and maybe they're still mean, but but I did my thing. So how do you? And then I love this because in board gaming, I've done these little diagrams where it's like I
Tracks.
love strategy, but I don't like this, or I like war games and I like party games, and you end up with this cool diagram.
Yeah.
Now, how do you? I know you color in from the bottom of the well kind of out as you work on your superpowers, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, it's in pencil. I love how you say use pencil because sometimes you're just erasing back off or changing something. Is that the idea? I mean, I already can't wait to make copies because, I'm going to have my name in here. I'm going to have the date. I'm going to be working on my chart. I got to put this out. Sorry. You grab an old notebook, a half-filled notebook that was just abandoned. Start with a half-filled one and start filling in some of your goals because it gets you started.
Yeah.
So, but go on some of the ideas you have packed in here. I'll let you explain them. I just touched on a couple.
Well, I love how everyone who's seen We so far, first of all, I really appreciate any comments, good or bad. But they've been really positive. Some people like, hey, my life's in order. I don't need this. I got something else. Like I'm not your target audience. Other people like, wow, I really want to share this with my wife, or I really want to share this with my students. So I'm really looking forward to doing this together with my partner, whatever. So I like how each person is, first of all, taking a look and then also making it their own and using it in whatever way they see fit. When like a lot of self-help books, they promise some results. We don't promise any results. It's just, here's the things that you want to be doing. And the way I see opponents, as it's now described in the book, I think the original term we had for it was enemies. We're not necessarily entities outside of your own control. They're actually all your own emotions, the ones that trip you up, the ones that get you into trouble, the ones that aren't seen as positive by other people. They're not, unhelpful would be a good word. And other people refer to them as challenges. Like if you get angry all the time, or like a roadblock or something that's stopping you from fulfilling the life that you want to have, could be seen as a roadblock or an enemy or an opponent. Obviously, I'm coming in from like a game, from a gaming background. So my language is, enemies, opponents, victories, points, scores, tracks, those kind of things. And that translates pretty well into like some kind of self-help tool that might, keep you on track. Just by the fact that you're thinking about what you need to address, you're already playing the game. And as far as I'm concerned, you're already winning. And it's really, we're not trying to be perfect. We're not trying to be, gods or whatever. We're just trying to like be aware of like how we are with certain things that we just need to, if you want to change, can change. And we just need to get on them.
It's perfect because I love the powers. So my wife and I were like shifting over. We had all the Christmas decorations. My wife's Puerto Rican, so we leave them up a little longer because we do Three Kings.
Oh yeah,
so
Three Kings.
Yeah, we were taking them down, and of course we're working in concert, which is always somewhat a challenge. And we were undoing like some of the lights that are around a tree, and I start saying, well, you're going to need to take up the slack there. And of course she doesn't. I'm like, hey, the slack. And then there was a little bit of a back and forth. And what I would have done if I would have been paying attention to patience And because I recognized I got a little snippy, and then it came back at me, of course. And I immediately, because I was prepping this morning by just going back over the book, and I thought, okay, if I would have recognized and thought, let me work on the patience here. I'm just gonna be patient, and I'm gonna work on that power, and I'm gonna color this in the future if I can. And maybe in my head, I'm counting. There's one patient right there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the second one. I love the gamification
Cool.
of life. I've kind of done that to some extent kind of throughout, but I loved the having the goals, and then even let me go over here, the you've got the reset and the tracking. Here's the goals, which I love, which you go and explain, and then you even give examples of like, ask someone for help with something small, then help a different person that same day.
Right. So funny you mentioned about doing a task together. There's one of the goals, which is to do a task with someone, but the task is not necessarily the main objective. You just really like, I don't know, doing the dishes together, but the dishes isn't the goal. It's just being there. So you don't need to rush the job, even though it's just a pretext for just chilling out. And
yeah, because you mentioned sitting down to a nice meal, but both of you seeing if you can like be the last to finish, maybe, I think.
Right,
so
right.
It's a really relaxed, take your time, kind of be ensconced in the moment with the person.
Yeah.
So there was you have so many things kind of wrapped in here that I can't wait to make the photocopy, and I'm gonna play right along in there.
Well, I can't take credit for everything in here because a lot of it, and I say a lot of it, came from a book, which is called, it should be like just here. It's called The Little Book of Wisdom by the Dalai Lama, who I've been a fan of for a long time. That book was, it's not a religious book, and I'm not a religious person. But I did find that Buddhism, like the core of it, the Dharma that was, it's like 40 pages, but the book that you get in the hotels are like 800 pages or whatever. So that small sort of part of it didn't speak so much of like gods and religion and stuff, but just like human truths that someone a long time ago figured out how humans have emotional reactions and sort of made that the core of here's a model for like not being so messed up all the time.
Or like the Tao Te Ching, where you need to find the center.
Right.
So I can eat too much or I can eat way too little, but if I can find this place here.
So the Little Book of Wisdom had a lot of great ideas, and you couldn't read it, even though it's tiny, like you couldn't read it in a day because you'd be like, oh, I got to think about this one because this is really good. And then you'd get back to maybe like a page every day, and a page is like 20 words. That's how little the book is. But I went through it knowing me, like with a pencil, and I started sort of like simplifying and like trying to make it less circumstantial and using easier language. And I sort of like, forgive me, rewrote some of the wisdom in there to sort of be able to explain it easier to my son, or just, make it less religious. And eventually that all got re-edited into the book that we have here, We&We. By the way, my copy is written and scribbled on. I've made it my own, and feel free to write in it, rip it up, cut it up, copy it. It's all yours. So, in fact, here's one thing that I wanted to share with you. What I did with my copy. You talk about that page that comes in the middle of the book. It's stapled in there, so you need to pull it out, right? And then it folds into a smaller size to the, let's see, where are we? To the zine. And what I did was I cut a slit in this page, which is, let's say, page 7 and 8. Page 7. Oh, let's see this way, and then I fold it in there. Let's see if I can do this. This is trickier than when it's at the table. There we go. And once it slides in there, you'll see it's on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that keeps my little thing in here. But then I put a pencil inside it. And because of the way it folds, that pencil doesn't fall out.
Oh, I love it.
I'm like, okay, cool. So maybe I'll put some instructions on how to do that.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, so it has a pencil in there, and I can just keep track of it.
I love it. Yeah. And I've learned, I love that. I can't wait. I've learned, folks, that myself included, if I go write down, just the act of writing down my goals.
Yeah.
And then being able to look at them and then kind of use, and these are my goals. It's not something you told me to do or the TV or my wife. It's got to be my goals. And then the little tiny achievements. The gamification of it is perfect. I was trying to talk to my son. My oldest son just started college and I was doing great. And I kind of explained to him, it was funny. He moved out, he moved in with roommates, and he learned really quickly, like one of them leaves the lights on all the time. And he was calling me, hey, he leaves the lights on. I go, I remember somebody that used to do that all the time in my house. And he's like, oh, come on. But he's learning so much from just being out in the world. And then he had not quite a full-time, but a new job. And then he had a difficult supervisor, and that's fixed itself. And he's slowly, now he loves role-playing games. Free League out of Sweden and Bo, my oldest son, got me back into role-playing games because I hadn't played role-playing since the 80s. But he wasn't as much into the role-playing or into the board games I had. And when Free League released Twilight 2000 4th edition, those two things brought me fully back in. Like, I'm heavy into TTRPGs now. So, awesome. Which is what sent me. That's a good transition to when I saw your spinner, which is a multi-different dice. If you don't mind, we can definitely, I want to come back. We won't step away.
Oh yeah, no worries.
But can you tell folks a little bit about your multi-dice spinners?
Definitely. So what you've got there, and again, thanks for backing the first coin sides. And I think you also covered the second Z. And so this is coin sides. It's literally a 2-inch metal coin with a slightly thicker middle part, which makes it spin like a top. And it has two sides. Don't worry, if you drop it, it won't break because there's no moving parts, and it's solid, completely well built. And it has different numbers on each side, and those represent sets of dice. You can imagine a 1 through 6 on the outside of one of these faces. That represents a D6. And what you do is you spin it, and you stop it with your finger. And the number next to your finger of that dice, so 1 through 6, is the number that you rolled. But there are other numbers in there. So you can fit another 6 digits in between the 1 through 6, and that would make a D12. When you spin a D12, you would just spin it and then stop it, and whichever number pops up would be the dice that the result that you rolled. So if there are numbers that don't pertain to the dice that you're rolling, you just skip them to the next one. So this one here has 6 dice. It has on this side a D4 and a D8, and on the edge in Roman numerals, a little bit small, there's a D20 and a D10. That's 4 dice on one side. The other side, the red side, has a D6 and a D12. That's quite simple, like 6 dice. Hidden in the design, there's also a suit picker for the suits and a deck of cards and a poker deck. And on the other side, you have the cardinal directions for those adventurers with like an exploration sort of vibe. Yeah. So we managed to put a lot into one device, but it turned out that it has other uses too. Because it spins, it can act as a timer. But you don't know how long the time is going to be. It could be a minute, it could be 30 seconds, it could be a little bit more than a minute, depending on how much time you want to give your role players. And you have a marker. That's actually the original marker we upgraded it since to have a
I've
more pointy
seen.
one.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
little bit longer. Yeah, it's a beautiful marker
I,
on your.
I should ship you some of those because we have a few. If you don't have one, I'll get you one. And they act as a pointer to point to a digit on the coin as you spin it on a mat, so that it doesn't spin freely. And you can track numbers as you rotate. You just kind of like a step-up counter or a life counter, and it fits inside a bag. And the bag is what stops the coin from spinning, so you can put it on there and use the little line at the top to line up
Right.
the numbers that you're trying to track.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a really cool package. Live counter, timer, and mainly dice. You can also wear it as well if you want to like don a pendant.
Yeah,
I
your
also,
last Kickstarter, you even had a like early backers, I think, got a pendant
yeah,
holder that it hooked
yeah,
into.
I'll ship you that as well. It didn't turn out perfect, but it's close to. Whereas you can literally just take it off
Yeah.
and then click it back on.
And it held the pointer, which was really neat as well.
That was the whole challenge, getting everything to sort of fit. The only issue that we had, this is getting a bit technical, but the two prongs
Uh-huh.
that you use to hang the coin on, you might have noticed that the coin has holes around the edge. This is for like future proofing so that we could hang them, um, and also have it look cool. So the two prongs that go into those holes should have had rounded tips, but they've been cut flat. And if
Ah,
you cut a wire flat, you end up with like a sharp edge,
right.
maybe on two sides, maybe not so much, but they weren't able to round them. Obviously, they're rounded because it's a wire, but I wanted them rounded at the top like a tip, so that when you put them into the coin, they don't scratch the coin. But it is a little bit too sharp for what I really had in mind. So
Hmm.
other than that, it works.
Yeah. And I think your newest one, you even added a little bit, almost like a ball kind of that makes it
Right.
spin even more than what the normal. I mean, it spins
Yeah.
great, but I
Yeah.
saw that you'd added that in as well.
That was another challenge. That ball took 3 years to persuade
Mm,
the factory to give it a go. So if you spin the coin sides, it's a single piece of metal, but it's plated. And then as you spin it, especially the tip, and sometimes the edge of the coin, that plating wears down depending on what you're rolling it on. So if you roll it on glass, you don't get a lot of friction. But if you roll it on a mat, the friction of the mat sort of slowly, I mean, it's not obvious, but it erodes the plating a little bit. So we wanted a stainless steel solution. In
mm,
fact, the whole coin stainless steel would be great, but it's extremely expensive because
okay.
it's quite detailed. The you don't get the definition that you can with the way that we make them now. So instead, we just replace the center of the coin with a steel ball, which gets pressed in there and doesn't come out. That doesn't wear down, and if it does, it's just steel, so not plated. So it retains that nice shine, and it doesn't affect the plating of the coin as much.
Yeah.
So it's a
And
good solution.
and
But
for folks that want to see it, you can still go look at the past Kickstarters. They
yeah,
funded phenomenally. I think you had like 18,000% or something you funded, or maybe 1,800%.
I know.
18,000% would have been good. But you have videos that show the spin. You put it on a nice wood,
Yeah,
so that the camera can see it. And then the beauty of even your newest coin, and I know you state you can't really see it with the naked eye, but with the camera,
yeah,
it even is almost making animations as it spins, or it is making animations as it spins.
right. So yeah, phones have a frame rate when
Mm,
they take the video, and it almost creates like a strobe-like effect when they record it. Obviously, human eyes don't see like that, so when we spin the coin, we
mm,
just see the blur as the light is hitting us at the same rate. But cameras sort of take a snapshot at a very quick pace, and that creates a really interesting animation. The cyber coincide specifically had animation elements within the design, and at
mm.
certain speeds when it's spinning, you'll see elements of the coin sort of move in like really cool ways. It shouldn't do that, but it does that kind of thing.
Huh.
The
Because yeah, you
cyber
have a
coins.
a Cthulhu coin, a cyber coin, and what did you call your newest one? I forget.
I should just bring them and show you them, right? Really?
Sure. Yeah.
Can you just give me a sec?
Absolutely. I'll keep your current coin on here. It was such a neat idea when you put it out.
It's been a busy weekend, play testing and going to different cities for gaming stuff. But okay, so I have here the last two. So, alrighty. I wasn't ready for this.
No, I sprung that on you. I know we planned. I didn't even put the Coinside's name in there. We were going to talk We&We, but your coins are so neat.
And they're all shipping. So yeah, as you mentioned, the classic Coinside is this one, and then we have a Cthulhu Coinside, which has a D5. That's super easy to spot, right? The D5.
Yes.
That's like threaded between the D10, obviously 20, 10, 5. They're all halves of each other. That's how we managed to fit more dice in there. A good example here is the D12, which is all the numbers that are large, including the purple ones. And then D6, D3. So every time you half the number and you can add another dice in between there. The D3 is really cool because it has the yes, no, maybe as well in there. So this is the Cthulhu Coincides. It has a cipher on the outside, but it's a little bit small to see here.
Okay.
And that's the back for that one. Moving on.
This
is the cyber coins.
Look
Each time we added one more dice to these. And another feature, this one has a braille on the D6, mainly because it looks cool. But it's also functional. Obviously, braille takes a bit of space, so we only managed to put it on a D6, but it was a nice try. And on the back of it, it has a D100 on the outer edge. A D100 that fits in your wallet, along with another, let's say, another 9 dice, which is what packs in here. So yeah, 10 dice altogether. And some other little features in there too. This is the one that has the animated effect, and it's these pink squares. When it speeds at a certain time, they rotate within their own axis. Not like this, but literally they just turn.
Got it.
It's really, and the back is a little trippy too.
Right. It's got the
Yeah, some kind of let's say flux generator or something like that.
Perfect.
Something
kind of
cyberpunky.
Yes.
So I hope each of the coins has a different feel and a different theme to attract different dice lovers. The last one, I'll show you the silver one, is a cosmic Coincides. So we use an astrolabe, I think that's what it's called, chart, and we packed a D9 on this side. The 963 thing is a little bit of a Tesla reference. He thought that you could unlock the secrets of the universe if you understood those 3 numbers, and I'll just leave it at that because I still don't. But we didn't add a color to this model. As you can see, it's black on both sides, but the center has the glittery sort of cosmic effect. So we added some glitter in there, and as you can see, the steel ball is in the middle there. So this one packs altogether 14 different dice. That includes all the fancy ones like the moon phases, which are also double up as the D4 and the D8 and the D2.
And I forget what you call it, the outer edge, like if you found a treasure.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
So this is the log dice, and log is a mathematical term for logarithmic. What that means is that the numbers aren't even they're not evenly distributed. Like on a D6, you have the same likelihood of rolling any of the numbers.
Right.
So it's just luck what number you got. But a logarithmic dice has the spaces, the chances of the numbers being rolled are different. So it's, maybe you can see actually, let me just line it up so that we have it the right way up. So here we go. So one starts here and then goes this way, right? You can see that the spaces between the 1 and the 2 is massive. It's more than 25% of the coin. Then as it goes from 2 to 3, it gets a little smaller. And then as it goes, as the numbers increase, this is the 9 space here. It's literally the size of my finger. So it's much like much smaller. What that means is that rolling a 9 is truly a miracle. There's no 10 on a D log because it goes from 0, which we replaced as the 1, all
Mm,
the way to 9. Um, but yeah, so rolling that like high number feels epic, as it should do,
right.
because it really is like the rarest and hardest thing to roll. Whereas rolling a lower number, you're going to get that a lot. And
Yeah.
it really surprises me how much that reflects what the adventure should feel like.
Mm,
Like when you open the treasure, we found another empty treasure chest with just a few coins in there. But sometimes you're gonna luck out and get like nine whatever,
right.
900 gold. I don't know how you want to sort of like scale it, but
Sure.
it also works for distances where hitting an enemy which is far away, which would be like maybe a 9, is what you
Mm,
need to roll to achieve that exponential difficulty, where shooting an enemy nearby,
right.
this is all in the context of games, by the way,
Sure.
is
Sure. Sure.
is going to be a lot easier, as it should be, I suppose. Like,
Right.
yeah,
No, 100%. Yeah, I loved it. It was funny
it's
because
really cool.
as I was looking at your website, that was where I thought, I remember seeing, oh yeah, the coin I got originally, and I was like, look at these new coins that are on there.
So here's the other color, the gold.
Oh,
Is the
look
first
at
time we
that.
added a different plating to the product. The steel
Nice.
ball, still steel, so you'll see that it's silver in the middle, and
Wow,
I kind of like that
that's
contrast.
gorgeous. That looks
Yeah,
great.
thanks.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. Now, I know you've got the other zine. You've got any other games, and we'll end talking about We&We again. But what other, anything else you want to talk about before we go back to We&We?
Um, I I've always had like 2 or 3 games that I've
Okay.
been making for years,
Yes.
and eventually they'll either get made or not get made.
Sure.
Um, it's always like a challenge because, well, first of all, games take me personally like about a year to make.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's half a year, like Rokumon, a really nice 2-player abstract strategy game based on Japanese feudal laws. That
Mhm.
came out in 6 months and it surprised me. And
Nice.
it's done really well. That one's sold out.
It's
Um,
beautiful. Beautiful game.
but the like I could say that, for example, We&We was made in a month. It was written and edited and produced in a month, but that's
Hmm.
been like 10 years of me thinking about how am I going to help my son deal
Right.
with emotional waves that are coming when he's in a teenager. How can I prepare myself for like a life in the future? How can I help more people, maybe students and teachers, and have some. So it's the production time is whatever it takes, and luckily I have quite a happy, easy life here in Japan, and I can dedicate all my time pretty much to making something that hooks me. It's not that I want to make these things, I just have to make these things. And
Sure.
I don't choose when that happens. So as soon as the Kickstarter for the Cosmic Coin Size launched, my brain says, okay, let's make that project now. And We came out exactly as the Kickstarter ended, which is about a month. So this timing wasn't ideal. But I don't get to choose when I do what I do. I capitalize on the fact that I'm free, available, and the drive to make something is there. And it worked out that the timing is good because it'll be funding in February, and the copies are already made and here. And if we do really well, which I hope we will, we can obviously print some more because they're all printed locally in Japan. And shipping
Oh,
these things is easy.
yes. Yeah. You put it in a little packet, and off it
Yeah.
goes. And
Ah,
it's very pleasing. I don't know why, but it's pleasing to get something from Japan.
hey, the paper. How does the paper feel, Bart?
Very nice. Very nice. You've got a thick card stock,
Yeah.
which is very nice to work through your coloring. I always love your design eye, because if I remember right, you will see these are real like map pictures, right? Is that
Those are
correct?
actually aerial photographs from
Yes.
a website called unsplash.com. and they quite generously allow people to download and use those pictures with or without credit for commercial purposes. You'll see on the edge of the page, right where your hand is covering it, the name
Yeah.
of the author for all of those pictures.
Oh yeah. So William
Yeah.
William Justin de it's Vasconcelos. Maybe
Yeah.
from Spain, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So it's really cool. The aerial sort of view of this has a bit of a funny connotation for this game. I used it also in Any, which is a role-playing game. And in role-playing game, people are used to seeing top-down maps, right? But if this is some kind of like spiritual uh, guide or whatever, you being floating around and looking down on Earth is a little bit ironic, I think. Like,
Yeah. I just love it. And then your choice of the blue, it's almost like a sea foam blue or that pleasant light sky blue.
right.
And your sense of even like this opening page where you have the contents, but the way you float the card above,
Mm.
this is just even as I opened it, that is your sense, because I know you do all your own design. I mean, I know you've used these images, but
Yeah.
this is all your layout and everything, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as it's opened and I see, I don't know what it is, but especially this, and I'm sitting there feeling like, well, look at this. It's like the contents are on a little card that's just on the page.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it was pleasing, but I remember thinking, well, that's nice. And I wasn't even going to bring it up, but it's right to even this little thumb notch almost, I mean, it's almost feels like it's something I should slide out.
I should show you as well the little thing that you highlighted. If you read that little space at that little message at the top there, it says
Yes. ...
is a new beginning. I'm like,
Yes.
well, that's a bit. I thought that was like a little bit cryptic, and the reason why that's there. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Do it.
All right, because I don't think it's gonna like matter, but the last page 22 says the end, right? ... And if you put them together, it creates. Oh, let's go. Here we go.
Ah, the
So
sun and the moon, kind of.
So if you read it now, the end ... is a new beginning.
Nice. See, perfect. This is what I'm talking about, folks. When you when Charlie does something, you may find, I mean, and not that you would need that to play the game, but there's these little things in there. Just like the way that little card floats above. And I thought, I almost like tried to touch the paper. I love it.
Do you get that sometimes, when you're playing like a board game and on the board they print the cards so that you know where to put the cards, and then when you tidy up, you're like, oh, don't forget that card. And your friend goes and tries and gets it and it's printed on.
That's right. I know I even had I forget which game it was, but they even put a coffee ring on the board itself, so because it was supposed to have a bit of an industrial feel. So yeah, anybody watching, there's little touches throughout We&We that are just pleasant. The paper is wonderful. The idea of pulling out the page, because of course, as as I got it, I started to think, well, is there going to be a player sheet, and is it going to be in the back? And then sure enough, you did it right on the staple line.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's easy to, it's A4 size, so hopefully easy for you to photocopy.
Yes.
Again, like if you use a pencil, because the paper is actually quite thick, you can just like go over it every time you redo it. And I was going to say, there is a lot of journaling, role-playing games and journaling self-help books too. So this isn't really leaning on you having to write a lot. So if you want to, you can, and those are some of the things that are suggested here. But it's just being aware. Just being aware is like the first step, and you'll see that it'll. Well, at least for me, it really opens up a lot of like things that I hadn't thought about that I'm glad I am thinking about now.
Yeah, I will gamify little things in my life all the time. So
Yeah.
having the structure, I'm not kidding. I was looking over it this morning with my coffee before my wife was up. And after we had the little dust up with my lack of patience, I remember thinking, see, that could have been a power where if I would have exercised my patience, I could have colored in a little area next to the well.
Let me explain the powers to people, because I think
Yes.
we've talked about them, but we know about them. So in role-playing games, you have certain skills that you kind of boost up, like dexterity and strength and whatever. So I tapped into that and used uh, emotional sort of things that we do, like love, tolerance, humility, as our own powers. That the more we practice, the better we'll be at utilizing them when we need to, especially where we're under some stress or in a rush or something. So these, like, yeah, patience, willpower, that's what I really need to work on, right? Motivation, courage when it's time to speak up, and like, love, compassion, humility, all of these things. So the way I had them here is as a well that you fill up. And as you color in the triangles, every time you sort of like consciously make use of them, you can see your skill level literally filling up like a well. But you can redesign this progress page, which is what you've got. You might call it a character sheet. You might redesign that and make it work for you. You could replace some of those powers with other powers, other skills
Mm.
that or maybe combine two of them because they're a little bit similar. Like, it's really for you to make your own rules for your own game of life.
And I see you're right. Under opponents, you're right. It's it's the opponents of myself that I'm working on. So it would be the anger with my boss, maybe, or the
Yeah,
yeah, maybe the despair, the fear of a certain situation. So
right.
that
So,
would be the
yeah.
victory. Right.
Right. So the spirit of we, it's not you and me or us and them.
Mhm.
There is no them. We're all us. It's all we. So it's also a riff on D&D, right?
Mm,
Dungeons and Dragons, which is for, a simulation. Well, it originally, like, it was simulating combat as
right.
best as possible with great detail and effect and success. So for D&D being what it is now, which is pretty, combat heavy and us versus them sort of indoctrination maybe, or ideology, or like, setup, scene, setting.
Mhm.
That's not how we want to live in this world, hopefully.
Right.
So We is the philosophy that I'm trying to present in in a gaming sort of context. Ironically, I'm not trying to compete against Dungeons and Dragons, but the name riffs off that.
Sure.
So your boss would have his own world in his head, and he is the way he is for all these reasons. That once you sort of like start to think about his like reasons for being the way he is, you can understand and maybe forgive, maybe even help in
Mhm.
some way, make his view of the world change so that he can also live a happy and fulfilling life
Right.
with other people.
Yep. Yeah. I actually have a good boss. He just gets real nervous.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's reasons for that, and you understand them,
Yes.
and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you have a good boss. That's
You're perfect. Yeah, I'm in the law enforcement realm, so he
yeah,
gets nervous all the time, and he's always amazed that I am not. And
yeah,
and part of it is that things will be what they will be. I'll do what I can do when I
yeah,
can do it, and
yeah.
yeah. But when I get mad is when I do, like if my anger gets ahead of
Uh,
me or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It slips
So
away. Yeah.
yeah, and that is the victory and the loss. It's all right up in here, 100%.
And all of that is beautiful. Like the way that everyone is different, the way that we all have our uniqueness.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, that's what we all have in common as well, that we're all individuals, we're all different, we all have our
Right.
own way of dealing with stuff.
Oh yeah, people are so fascinating. When I'm able to sit down, whether if I'm talking with you
Yeah,
or
yeah,
if I meet someone or when I was in the army, you get thrown into with folks. I remember there was an African-American gentleman. We got along so well. And he talked to me once and he said, he got like personally leaned in. Well, first I was living in the mountains of Colorado and he said, did you use a horse to get to school? And I said, no, we had streets and buses even up in the mountains. But he was from a rough area of Detroit. And he'd asked me, if I came and visited you in the mountains, would I be safe? And I said, yeah. I was perplexed. What do you mean? And he said, well, somebody wouldn't like me because of my race. I said, well, I suppose we might run into somebody, but I said, well, he said, if you came and visited me, it wouldn't be good at all. And I was like, wow, I hadn't even thought so. And then he had joined the army in order to kind of escape that world and to be able to start fresh. And I was like, holy moly, that is so interesting. So the infinite interestingness of individuals, if you talk to them and listen to where they're coming from.
Yeah.
He had never talked to, I don't think he'd ever been friends, I'm guessing, but somebody that was from a whole different state, a whole different race. So it was very interesting as we were engaging in these conversations. And that was one thing I loved about the military is it brought this, America's huge, 350 million people, and it brought these very unique folks together. So kind of like I'm able to sit and talk to you. I told my wife, hey, I'm going down to talk to Charlie from Japan. She's like, cool, Charlie from Japan. So let's wrap up just so we don't scare people away from watching the video. Why don't you tell us one last time, kind of roundabout when We&We is going to be out on Kickstarter?
We&We is going to be out in roughly 2 weeks in February as part of the Zine Quest event on Kickstarter. It's going to run for a month. The price is going to be 1,200 yen, which is about $7. And shipping is going to be less than $5 to get this over to you. So it's a great deal. Please get as many copies as you like. I'll try and do a discount on volume, or maybe just keep shipping fixed. I've got a lot to do to actually get this ready to launch, but 2 weeks is a good time for that. I hope you all check it out and back it and see what other projects I have on my website and on Kickstarter from previous campaigns.
Perfect. And say your website one more time.
Okay, so it's EX1ST, as in EX1ST.com. And from there, you can find the games that I do and the other stuff that I've done before games.
Perfect.
It's a nice little history.
I will put that down in the description. I've got to go annotate the description. I'll put it in there as well. Right. And Charlie, when you're live, I know you'll be under a lot of pressure then, but if you want to do some little quick show or something when you're live, by then I will have started my own We&We campaign.
Awesome. There's one more thing that I'm doing. This progress page, which is in there, provided in the magazine itself, that's already there. But I'm really happy to see what people make and how they design their own. So it's not a contest, but there's a space on itch.io where you can submit your own progress page, how you might like to gamify your life. Maybe rearrange the one that I've made or make your own completely different in the spirit of We&We or your own style of play, whatever, and just submit that so that other people can say, hey, I like this progress page a little bit more than the one that's in the magazine. I think I'm going to do this one because it's more accessible. Yeah. So you can submit that on itch.io, but all the links of that will be in my website and on the Kickstarter page so that we can make this a more of a collaborative project, which is what I'm all about.
Perfect. Love it. Always a pleasure talking to you, Charlie.
Yay. The sun has come out and I'm getting blinded here.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you got that bright sun. You must have snow on the ground out there, maybe, huh?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Charlie.
Excellent.
I'm going to end the stream. It'll take a little bit to wind down, but thank you.